Hey guys, another P-pump video here. This one's front main seal. We're gonna replace that right now. It seems like it might be leaking. It's not leaking on the ground or anything, but it looks like it's spraying oil on the front of the radiator here, or on the radiator. I don't know if you can see that or not, but all the way down in there, it's all caked with oil. So we're gonna get to changing that out, put a speedy sleeve on there, and replace the seal, get rid of the old one, just in case, reseal the whole case on the front, because it was leaking before, so we'll get to that. We're gonna take the bumper off. The intercooler, the intercooler shot. It's got a big dent in it, a hole. So I have another one. I'm just gonna pitch that one. I got another radiator for it too. I'm gonna replace the radiator. So we gotta dump all the coolant into a jug there at the bottom, 5-gallon pail or whatever. So that's gotta empty that out. So we're gonna get to taking all this stuff apart now. So, all right, guys, got the bumper off. There are just a couple of brackets like this. They're 18 mil. Kind of a pain to get to, but there's a bolt there, and then the 4 bolts, and then he just slides out of here. So now you get the rad out. There's 10 mil bolt there, 10 mil bolt here, bolt here, bolt on that side, and I think there might be one at the bottom, but if you can get your hands on these things, these coolant pliers, they're awesome. Limits the mess that you can make. Obviously it's going to make a mess trying to get it out, but I jimmy rigged this thing up so the hose doesn't leak anymore all over the place. I already made a mess, so trying to keep the mess as minimal as possible. But you don't have to do all this steps to do a front main seal on this truck, on these trucks, but I'm doing it because I'm getting rid of the intercooler. As you can see, the intercooler's toasted. So that's going to be gone, and I'm getting rid of my rad. So these are just extra steps that makes it a lot easier to get at the front. You can clean it easier and all that stuff. I don't have the fan on, but makes things easier to get at when you take all this shit off. So yeah, we'll get to taking the rad out and the intercooler, and then we'll get to the rest of it. Okay, got the rad out. The intercooler won't come out unless you take the rad out first. So you have to lift the rad out the top, obviously, and then the intercooler will come out. Make sure you save these little rubber pieces. They go into the rad at the bottom. Both sides have them. My truck has the power-driven diesel mechanical lift pump, so I'm gonna have to take the bolts off at the bottom there. This is the drive belt for it. You gotta take the serpentine belt off. Gotta take the fan pulley thing here off. You gotta take that off, otherwise you can't get at the bolts at the back for the cover. So we'll get to taking this all apart here, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay, got the harmonic balancer off, belt and all that stuff. In order to get that off, you need a barring tool that you stick down into here. You can see it. I bought mine off Amazon, so it doesn't let the engine spin over, otherwise you'll never get them off. So what I like to do next is I don't use the impact on these bolts on the front that are all around the cover. I just loosen them up or break them loose by hand, and then use the impact once they're already loose. You have to take this pulley off. 4 bolts there. Try to keep everything organized so you don't lose any pieces. You got to take these 4 bolts out here where my lift pump is, so those will come out. But yeah, let's get to taking this cover off with all the bolts off. Okay, got the case off. Looks like it was leaking at the very bottom, not the actual seal. Right around here. But it doesn't look like it was the seal itself. It looks like the gasket took a shit. So I'm gonna replace the gasket. But as that is, everything else looks okay. Just gotta clean the surfaces up around the edges here with the gasket scraper, and should be good to go. Clean this one up too. Clean all the shit off of it. I have a parts washer, so that's always good. So we'll clean this up and get the seal in. I'll show you how to do the seal too. Okay, got her all cleaned up. Out here with the parts washer. Maybe it was the seal that was all messed up. Doesn't look like it was seated in there properly. Either way, it's gonna get changed. So make sure when you do this, you have the seal in there properly. Otherwise, it's gonna leak right away, which is a real pain in the ass, because then you got to do it all over again. So yeah. Okay, this is the front main seal kit that I bought. Bought it off of Rock Auto. Can't remember if it was like 30 bucks or something like that. But it comes with this little metal piece that you put on top of the case, and you just bang it in with a rubber mallet or a hammer or whatever, and it just sets the depth of it perfect. So that's the part number for it. I can put a link in the description down below. And this is the speedy sleeve, or the repair sleeve as they call it, I guess, but not coming in. But that's got that off of Rock Auto as well, and that just fits over your crankshaft. So these are just the products I'm going with. Generally one of the better ones. So yeah. Okay, this is the repair sleeve. Just a little piece of metal that just slides over the crank. Just make sure it's on even. Okay, make sure the crank is dry, and just tap it with a rubber hammer. so it goes on evenly. Okay, that's how you install your speedy sleeve or repair sleeve. Just make sure it's on there. Make sure it's on there evenly. So that's pretty easy. Okay, what I generally like to do is I like to get a piece of wood that's flat. Then you just put the metal piece on there, tap it all the way around. This plastic piece might come out a little bit. Just make sure you put it back in because you're going to need that when you install it again. So yeah, we'll give this a try. Okay, looks like it's all the way in. This just pops out. And there, that's how you install that piece, or the front main seal. If you have a piece of wood, it's a little bit easier. This usually generally comes with the kit, so makes it easier than anything else. So yeah. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a layer of gasket maker around the whole case and on the case on the engine all the way around. I don't have one of those other plastic or rubber gaskets that you could buy. I'm just going to use this stuff, the right stuff. It's worked pretty good for me, so I'm just going to use that. Put a big thick layer on and hopefully it doesn't leak again. I think it was the seal that was shot, so everything's all cleaned up. So now I'm going to put a layer of gasket maker on, and we'll get to putting the case back on. Okay, got her on. Just throw in a couple bolts to make it line up. You just push it over top of this piece here, and then this will come out. This little plastic piece. Looks like everything came on right, which is always a good idea, a good sign. So now we'll get to torquing these bolts up, or putting the bolts in, and then tighten her down and go from there. Then you finish off the rest of what you're doing. Okay, got all the bolts on now. So you torque them down to 18 foot-pounds, which isn't very much, but that's what it says in the manual. So you torque them all down. We'll get to doing that. It's pretty easy. Then we'll get to putting on this pulley that was back here. Okay, got her all tightened down. Everything looks good. All the way around, 18 foot-pounds of torque. So now we basically just put everything back together that we took apart. Balancer, pulley, the lift pump bracket goes back on here. That's basically your front main seal replacement. You don't you put the seal on dry on here. You don't add any oil, or you don't do any of that kind of stuff. Just make sure it's on there good. And that's pretty much your how to replace it. That's just a dust seal, so you don't really need that. But
right here, Dad.
I'm gonna put everything back together, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done with the new rad and the different intercooler that I picked up. So we'll fast forward to the end here, and you don't really need to see how to put it all back together. If you know how to take it apart, that's pretty easy just to follow the steps to put it back together. So yeah, there you go. Alright, got her all done. Got the belt on. Everything's torqued down. Your balancer bolts are 95 foot-pounds as per the manual. And this little pulley here is 18 pounds for the power-driven guys that have the mechanical pump. I put a little bit of red Loctite on this little screw here so it doesn't come off. I didn't use Loctite on anything else, just that little screw. So yeah, it's not a super hard job to do, if just time consuming. This engine is really dirty, so it's took a little bit more time to clean everything up, but yeah, it's not that hard of a job. If you obviously, you can watch videos like this one on YouTube and figure it out and save yourself the money bringing it to a shop or whatever. And if you're mechanically inclined, it's not that hard of a job. So I'm gonna finish it off here. I'm not gonna put the rad in yet in the intercooler. I'm gonna try and clean it up a little bit more. So yeah, this is just not a really intensive description video, but just something that you can base yourself off of. But yeah, this is my P-pump truck that I'm still trying to get out of my garage before it gets minus 50 here, or 40, or whatever the hell it does in the winter. So if you like the content, hit subscribe, hit the like button, help the channel grow, and we'll catch you on the next one. Picking up another turbo this week, so I'll make a video on that one, and maybe get this compound kit that I got going. So yeah, stay tuned for the next videos.